Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. So actually, before we get started, let me just start with the basics. Can you give me a B1 in the chat if you can hear me? Give me a yes if you can hear me. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. I want to talk to you guys about this bill. I read this bill that there apparently is a Republican who's looking to ban reparations before we even have an appropriate conversation. There's a Republican out of Texas who, let's see, what was his name? I think his last name was Babin. Let me look it up. Brian Babin apparently is looking to just basically make a law that says we can't pay reparations to anybody, especially black people. And I thought it was really interesting, and I want to talk about it. But actually, I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Give me a yes if you can hear me okay. B1 Dallas, I see you, Dana and Frank Matthews. Shout out the city you're from. Hey, Michelle Wood, Michelle Janet Wood. Good to see you, sister. Lady Love, G. Corey. He says, when you are getting closer to the target, that's when you start taking the most enemy fire. That is 100% correct. Okay, G. Corey is a smart man. Very nice. Thank you, Dana and Lewis and Twan and Jay and Diamond. Good to see everybody. Good to see you. All right, so how many of you, give me a yes or no, how many of you heard about this? How many of you heard about the the politician who is doing his best to ban reparations before they even get started? I thought it was really interesting. So James Baker and Lady Love and Daniel from San Antonio, here's what's going on. I'm gonna read some of this to you, and then I'm gonna kind of give you a Dr. Boyce breakdown on some of this. As we do this, as I open this up, it's an article from Moguldom, actually. As we open this up, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell. As you guys know, political season is coming up, and when you start talking extra black, they tend to like to shadow ban your channels and things like that to make sure that your subscribers can't actually see when you go live. You know, we have hundreds of thousands. We have actually over 1 million subscribers on different YouTube channels, and they pretty much block about 95% of you from seeing the content. So if you like the content on this channel, just make sure you hit that notification bell in order to be alerted. And also my new Instagram, since they did deplatform our Instagram, we're starting over. It's okay. We've got to back up. My new Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance, so I'm putting it up there. And also, if you check in regularly, I'll share some stock picks and stuff like that to give you good reasons to come to the platform. All right. So anyway, let's hop into this. All right. So apparently, there's this guy who wants to ban reparations, and I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to kind of give you a Dr. Boyce breakdown on what's going on. This is an article written by Ann Brown on Moguldom. She says, in a move that seems to be designed to discourage the growing local reparations movement, Texas Republicans have introduced a bill to bar federal bailouts of states that implement reparations. So basically, they're saying that any state that or municipality that wants to implement reparations is going to lose their money. Right? That basically you're going to get you're going to get blocked and banned from receiving any sort of bailout on any level. That if you pay your reparations to black people, then they're not going to give you your reparations if you have a flood or if you have an economic crisis or something like that. So it says the No Bailouts for Reparations Act was introduced June 23rd, just days after Juneteenth, by Texas GOP House member Representative Brian Babin. If passed, the bill would prohibit federal bailouts or financial assistance from going to states or municipalities operating programs giving reparations for slavery. Quote, American taxpayers shouldn't be forced to pay for radical race-based reparation payments to please the woke left. I'm going to use my Texas accent, y'all. I hope it's okay. I hope so. All right, if I talk like that for a little bit, because I want to just really help us understand, how that's how they really talk down there, All right. No disrespect to my friends from Texas now. I'm about to give you country boys right quick. All right. So he says, my bill ensures that the government entitles, government entities enacting reparation laws based on race, ethnicity, national origin, or slavery cannot receive federal bailouts. So that's what he said. That's what he wants. He's basically saying that if you support reparations, that you get no bailout money, that your municipality gets blocked from federal funds. That this is so interesting to me because you know what fascinates me about America? I'm fascinated by how how America has gotten so good at convincing so many people to just hate black people for no reason. When I would look at racism when I was a little kid, and they would show you old footage of, people throwing rocks at like little children because they just want to go to school and stuff like that. It always tripped me out because I was like, why? How brainwashed do you have to be to hate somebody and you don't even know them? Like really, like you're really mad at this like black child that's like 9 years old, and you don't even know this person. They haven't done anything to you. You got to be sick in the head. Like that's a mental illness. That's a severe mental illness. And so I see this as a continuation of that. I mean, the idea that he's literally targeting black people for something that hasn't even happened yet. Reparations haven't even been offered yet. And yeah, I guess he's being preemptive. This is a preemptive strike, and he basically is saying that the proposed legislation states that the U.S. government, and I got to go back to my country Texas accent now, including the Federal Reserve System and independent agencies, may not provide any loan, grant, or other form of financial assistance to the government of any state or political subdivision thereof, or any agency or instrumentality of such a state or political subdivision that enacts into law any program providing reparations on the basis of slavery or race, ethnicity, national origin, or historical practices related thereto. Did I get it down? Does that sound did I sound Texas enough, y'all? What do y'all think? Did I do it pretty well? I've been practicing my Texas. I want to learn how to be a country boy. And so I can really sound real country and everything. All right. So anyway, all right. So effectively, this guy's trying to pass this bill. Supporting the bill are 13 of Babin's fellow Republicans, including fellow Texas representatives Troy Niels and Ronnie Jackson. I bet Ronnie Jackson, that sounds like a black name. Ronnie, you better not be black. Let me see. Ronnie Jackson. I'm gonna look up Representative Ronnie Jackson. Let's see. I don't know why I feel like Ronnie's black. Let me see. Because maybe I'm thinking new. No, he's not. He's a white guy. Maybe I was thinking about New Edition, like Ronnie, Robbie, Ricky, and Mike. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so Ronnie is not black, thank goodness. So this is what you're dealing with, right? This is what's happening. And the thing about it is that um if you now, by the way, if you want to know what got my Instagram banned and the reason you will not see me on Facebook anymore, I'm done with Facebook, is because I was reading from this book. This book is from Dr. Claude Anderson. Give him a shout out if you know who he is, and if you love him. And his books are powernomics.com. And I was reading from this book, and in this book, I read a section in which Dr. Anderson explains that wide open immigration policies, are very bad for black people. That literally, the Democrats getting you to support wide open borders is something that doesn't benefit the black community, and he explains why. And I think that they identified that as hate speech. They pretty much said, well, you're identifying a specific group. It was either that or when I said that affirmative action benefits mostly white women. One of those two things probably sparked a complaint or something like that. And now I'm not going to stop reading from it. In fact, tonight, every Wednesday night, we do Powernomics training for free in the Black Business School. We're going to start reading the Black History Reader. We were reading Powernomics for about 2 years, word for word. We got through the entire book. Now we're starting the Black History Reader. And one of the things I can tell you is that when you see people doing things like this, when you say, man, why are you attacking black people? And when you know America owes us this money, corporate America owes this money, that churches owe this money. Georgetown University had a big controversy because black people saved Georgetown. It was the sale of black slaves that saved Georgetown University. And that's just one of probably 10,000 scenarios where black people saved America. And we're still saving America. If you remember when Joe Biden got elected, one of the first things they did was they said, thank you, black women. Black women saved, America. And then there were memes saying black women saving you again. And here's the thing. They benefit from it. We brag about it. They benefit from it, and we love doing it. They like to be saved. We are Captain Save-A-Ho. We will go in. Remember, E40 had Captain Save-A-Ho. I want to be saved, right? We are Captain Save-A-Ho. We love to save anybody except ourselves. And then they tell us, thank you so much for saving us again. And we say, yes, Yazamaza. I'm very happy to do it. I will do it again, and I will expect nothing in return. So, so you're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place between the Democrats that don't respect you and the Republicans that just don't like you very much. Both Democrats and Republicans, I don't think that they wake up every morning thinking about how they can be more racist toward black people. So I think that to say something as simple as "oh, you're racist," that might be a foregone conclusion, but that's an overly simplistic way to kind of look at a more complex issue. I don't think it's so much racism that is quite your problem, because I don't think most ethnic groups like other ethnic groups. Now they do tend to dislike you more than everybody else. That is 100% true, but I don't think racism is your biggest issue. I think your biggest issue is a lack of power, and a lot of the reason you have a lack of power is because your power is heavily diluted. It's heavily divided. It's heavily diverted. You spend a lot of time fighting for white folks, or getting into the Democrat Republican stuff, and you don't spend enough time advocating for yourselves, advocating for each other, advocating for your families, advocating for your community. So therefore, all these institutions end up falling apart. And so, what I will say to you is that anybody who sees this act on behalf of this very awkward Republican senator as a reason that black people need to make sure we vote blue no matter who, I think you're missing the point. If you're using this as a reason to come to black people and say, "Hey, y'all, they're not going to support reparations. We need to vote blue no matter who." Um, well, I'm gonna sort of retort on that and come back and say, "Give me a reason, and you can get my vote." And the reason you say that is because when people put you in a situation where you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, they tend to push you toward those traditional options of the lesser of two evils, which is an argument I no longer will accept. But it could be an opportunity, right? So perhaps the fact that the Republicans are fighting against, or there are Republicans fighting against reparations, and I don't think Republicans will pay reparations. Maybe perhaps it would get the Democrats to go ahead and say, "Yeah, we're going to do reparations. Yeah, we're they're the bad guys. They won't give you reparations, but we will." Okay, I want to hear that, but here's the problem. Here's what you're going to run into if you're not careful. If you're not careful, it's going to be no different. It's going to be integration 2.0. If you're not careful, this is going to be another affirmative action program. If you're not careful, this is going to be another civil rights movement. If you're not careful, this is going to be another Black Lives Matter rally. And let me explain what I mean. Did anybody hear about Evanston? It wasn't Evanston, Illinois. Gosh, there was a town in Illinois that paid reparations. Anybody hear about that? Give me a yes if you heard about that. Please hit the thumbs up button and the share, subscribe button, and notification bell while we do that. Let me see here. There's a town in Illinois that paid reparations. Anybody hear about that? There's an Illinois city that paid reparations. What was that city? Was it Evanston that did it? I don't believe it was Evanston. I guess it is Evanston. But well, anyway, it was a cash reparations program, and I'm looking it up right here. And here's the thing about it. I understand the intent of the reparations program, but to be quite honest, it was a bunch of donkey snot. I want to say bullshit, but I'm trying not to cuss. So let's say donkey snot. That's gonna be my term for bullshit. It was a bunch of donkey snot. It was literally something ridiculous like this. It was like, if you lived in this city, I'm not kidding. Look it up. Look it up. It might be Evanston. If it's not Evanston, forgive me, but I know it was in Illinois because I live in Illinois. It was something like, if you lived in this city between 1919 and 1969, you get a $25,000 housing credit. Man, you can take that housing credit and shove it all the way up your ass. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be all professional and stuff. Man, are you kidding me right now? Really? For everything black people have gone through, that's all you can offer is a $25,000 doesn't even pay 1/3 of a decent salary in this country, especially after inflation. Not even one half. So what are you talking about right now? Are you kidding me, right? So literally, I'm supposed to act like the last 400 years didn't happen because you wrote a check that it's like literally giving me a stack of McDonald's coupons. That's what they're gonna do. That's what I'm concerned. This is why, honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all, to be honest with you, I don't really know if I really want them to make a reparations proposal in the next 3 or 4 years, or even the next decade, because they're going to literally try to pay you with McDonald's coupons. They're going to pay you with Starbucks gift certificates. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come to you with something that literally won't even sustain you for a year and then say, we good now, right? We good now, right? No, we ain't good. No, we ain't good. Give me a yes or no. Did the pain of black people last more than a year? Have black people been in pain for more than a year? More than a couple of years? Yes or no? Have black people, give me a yes or no. Have black people been in pain for more than a couple of decades? Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. Do you think, have black people been in pain and been tortured by this country for more than a century? Give me a yes or no. 100 years. Have we been going through it for more than a century? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. Have black people been going through it for several centuries? Several centuries, several hundred years. Several hundred years of pain, several hundred years of theft, several hundred years of no progress, several hundred years of torture. So, in order for you to, and this is logic now, this is where I start losing people because I start talking about logic. I'm a mathematician. 2 plus 2 will always be 4 to me, no matter how much it hurts your feelings. The thing about this to me is, logically speaking, if you put me through and my people through hundreds of years of pain, then the reward that you give or the compensation you must give must be something that will sustain us and allow us for hundreds of years of healing. We have to have something. There has to be some sort. I don't know if they can even pay it all at once. You can't. But there has to be something offered that is going to be just absolutely, undeniably transformative for the black community. I'm talking about night and day. I'm talking about leveling up like crazy. And so part of the reason I'm a little bit nervous about them even making a reparations proposal is because I think they're going to do something stupid. And then y'all going to have to see me raising my blood pressure on this podcast, screaming my butt off about how it's insane for us to even go for a deal like that. You got to learn how to negotiate. You got to negotiate. If you don't negotiate with these people, they're going to kick you in your butt. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm a finance PhD. That's what my background is. That's what I do. And if you ever want to advertise on this platform, feel free to reach out to Micah at drboycefinance.com. I can give you a shout out. We're not doing any shout outs today because I wanted to talk about this topic. But if you have a black-owned business and you'd like to market maybe at the convention, we're doing the All Black National Convention. You can also reach out to Micah at drboycefinance.com. She can take good care of you. And also my new Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance. That's right there on the screen. So feel free to follow me on Instagram. And last but not least, because we're trying to get rid of our commitment to Instagram and Facebook and all that, you can also text me and I'll send you Dr. Boyce profit alerts. I'll send you stocks that I like every week. I'll send you the $5 a day investing plan. All you have to do is text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996. I will send you a training on how to make money without working. I will send you a copy of my book, e-copy of my book. It's called It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, a new paradigm for Black America. I'll send you all that for free. So just text the word stock to 31996 and I'll hook you up. All right. So let me hop back into. So we're talking about this Republican out of Texas who wants to ban reparations before they even get started. He's literally introducing a bill saying that any municipality or any state that implements reparations should lose their federal funding or access to funds or no bailout money or something ridiculous like that. So what else is happening here? His name is Babin. Let's see his first name. What was his first name again? I forget first names of insignificant, irrelevant people. Brian Babin. So we're gonna call him BB King. BB wants to ban reparations. So triple BB banning. Brian Babin is trying to ban reparations. And he's gotten some support from a couple of senators in Texas, or excuse me, House members in Texas, Burgess Owens in Utah, Representative Scott Franklin of Florida. Now, he also says, they said that his bill seems to have been sparked by the increase in the number of states and cities that are considering reparations, including California and Atlanta. Critics of the bill charge that it means to punish states and cities for pursuing reparations. Tag 24 reported Utah Representative Burgess Owens talks to supporters during a Utah Republican election party on June 28th, 2022 in South Jordan, Utah. He calls for impeaching Homeland Security. Okay, this is not important. Let me keep going here. Let me look and see what the quote is. Um, you know what? That's not. There's more here, but Moguldom, y'all. I love y'all, Moguldom. By the way, I know the brother that started the Moguldom, Jamal. He was a good brother. I think it was Jamal. He started Bossip. And now I guess it's called Moguldom Media. Anyway, Jamarlin. Yeah, I hung out with Jamarlin, and I threw up on his boat. By the way, me and Jamarlin went out sailing. He said, "Hey man, I got a boat. You want to go get on the boat?" I said, "Yeah, man." I got on that boat and I went live, and I was talking to you guys live on my Instagram, the one that before they took it down. And somebody said, "Hey Doc, be careful holding on to that rail because you'll get sick." And of course, me thinking I'm invincible, I did not listen. And before long, I felt something in my stomach that I'd never felt before. And I said, man, I think I'm getting sick. Next thing you know, I was on the side of the boat just puking over Jamal. I said, man, I'm sorry, brother. I gotta go back to the shore. So, Jamarlin, if you see this, man, call me because I apologize for messing up the boating trip that we took. But anyway, so shout out to Moguldom for writing the article. The article ended though; it ended too soon. So let me see if I can find um, another article that we can lean on that's a little bit deeper on this. Gosh, this is from Fox News. Oh crap! You know it's gonna be some BS. But anyway, let's look at it anyway. Let's see what Fox News has to say about it. A Texas GOP House member introduced a bill to block federal bailouts of states and municipalities to implement reparations programs. He says no American taxpayer should be forced to pay for radical race-based reparation payments to please the woke left. So what they're doing now is apparently they're stigmatizing and seeking to link the reparations debate to the wokeness. Now, what's really funny about it is, let's have a conversation for a second about how white people just love to take our terminology. They like to take whatever we got going on. Y'all are the coolest people on the planet. We just come up with cool stuff. Like I just saw this great video about how the Egyptian pyramids were so amazing and precise that no one can build them to this day. And they literally would have had to move one massive like 10-ton brick, or 10-ton stone every 5 minutes to build them over 25. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. It's on my Instagram, by the way. My Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance. Just go to Dr. Boyce Finance on Instagram. You can watch the video. It's very fascinating. It'll make you very proud to be black and remind you that we're not stupid. But anyway, it really trips me out how they will take everything that we do and just sort of make it into something else. And so effectively, does anybody remember the term woke? Remember when woke used to be like a black term? Like, you ain't woke, man, you ain't woke. Because we were using that back in the 90s, by the way. Like, that term has been around for a while. People have been talking about being woke for a minute. For all y'all young people that were born in like 1998, just know that term woke has been around for a while. Now, I don't even want to hear the word woke. Because now woke, suddenly, somehow woke means like gay, and it means trans, and it has all these other meanings that are attached to it. It means Democrat, liberal, Marxist, with Antifa. Like, no, man. If that's what being woke means, then put me back to sleep, man. I ain't trying to be, no. So anyway, I just think that's weird, right? So now this wokeness, this term woke is sort of attributed to the left, when really the original intention of the term woke was consciousness. So that's the term I'm going to actually use in terms of talking about where I think we need to go. Consciousness just means waking up and thinking, waking up and smelling the racism, waking up and smelling the possibilities, waking up and smelling the unity, waking up and re-smelling your family, waking up and smelling the wealth, waking up and smelling education, waking up and smelling what a strong community looks like. And that consciousness is something that I think is critically important. That's probably more important than who you vote for. Okay, because if you're not conscious, they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to use you. They're going to manipulate you, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, I'm not here to tell you what to do, and I have to repeat myself on that because unfortunately, part of consciousness also means smelling the propaganda. There is so much propaganda; it's only going to increase. It's in the election season. There was so much manipulation of the public during 2020, during the pandemic. They manipulated the hell out of the American public, and it was just, for any intelligent person, it had to be frustrating. I assume a lot of you all felt that way because you're intelligent people. That's why you're here. A lot of intelligent people were so pissed because it's like, what are they doing? This is so stupid, And my wife and I mean, I'm married to a beautiful black woman who happens to be a college professor, and we don't agree on a lot of things. My wife and I, we have our debates. Sometimes we start yelling and screaming about stuff, but one thing that we both do is we both think about things, and we were looking at what was happening during the pandemic. And it was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, wait a minute. Last week you was telling us we're all going to die. But this week, when there's protests in the street, you're encouraging people to go out in the street and gather together in these big crowds where everybody's going to make each other sick. So apparently it must not have been as scary as you think. Or another thing that I heard a person bring up was they talked about how the pandemic just miraculously ended right when the war with Russia and Ukraine started, right? And then the war of Russia and the Ukraine starts, and we're all sort of told which side to pick. Like, I don't give a damn. I never gave a rat's ass about Ukraine or Russia. I wasn't thinking about Ukraine and Russia like that. I was thinking about black people. And somehow suddenly you're telling me that I'm supposed to like be okay with giving all this money to the Ukrainians. I don't know these people. I don't know them. And I really think as black people, I really want to encourage you to be woke, like, or conscious. No, don't woke. No. I want you to be conscious because I just want you to pay attention. That's it. I just want you to pay attention and analyze and look around and see what is happening around you so that it all makes sense. Now, anyway, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. For some reason, people keep bringing up the word Corey Holcomb. I don't know why people keep bringing up Corey Holcomb's name. Let me tell you what happened with Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb is a comedian, and me and Corey had a beef. Like, we had an internet beef. And unfortunately, much to the dismay of tiny-minded Negroes who love to see black men want to kill each other, you know what me and Corey did? We did something that I think I'm pretty proud of this because it's very rare. You know what happened? Me and Corey got online and worked it out. How about that? How about that? How about that? Two black men who disagree getting together and having a public conversation and ending the conversation as friends rather than enemies. How about that? Ain't that? Can y'all clap for that? Can y'all clap for Corey for being man enough to talk to me? Because I've said this 1,000 times. I have had people. I can even name. I'm gonna name the names really quick, but I'm not gonna name them to be facetious or to be mean. But Roland Martin has been mad at me since 2011. I'm not gonna talk about why. Umar Johnson's been mad at me since I asked him where's the money for that school. Still mad at me. Kwame Brown, for whatever reason, became so fascinated with me that he did like 12 videos about how much he can't stand me. And that's like just three out of I'm sure several, because I piss off white people and I piss off black people. That's why I ain't got no friends. It's okay. Y'all are my only friends, so I really need y'all. And every single time as I've said, if you have an issue with me, then come see me. Like, let's talk. Not come see me like let's box it out. We grown. We ain't supposed to be doing all that. I've just said, let's sit down man to man, eye to eye, and talk it out. And every time I was in a venue with some of these individuals, they'd say, oh, so-and-so's here. I say, oh, bring them in. Let's talk. Let's get us in a room so we can just talk to each other directly without all the distractions. No, he don't want to be in a room with you. What is intimidating? Do I look like I'm just going to jump up and whoop your ass? Like, do I come off like that? I mean, I've been working out and stuff. I got natural muscle tone, but do I look like I'm about to throw up some dukes and beat you down? I mean, maybe intellectually I might, debate you, and maybe, I don't know, I've made some people cry with debate, but for the most part, I just want to figure out where the misunderstanding is. And so let me tell you, with Corey Holcomb, and I love talking about this because I'm super proud of Corey and Willie D, my buddy, Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. He's my buddy. He was in my wedding. He's one of my best friends. Willie got me and Corey together and we talked about it. And we said, and then Corey said, we should talk publicly. And I said, I agree. And we did it. We did the damn thing. We went on Willie D's channel, and over 250,000 people. I think this is cool. I think this is cool as hell. And that's why I'm talking about it. 250,000 people got to watch three black men, really, just work out their differences, agree to disagree, and walk away as friends. And I wanted to do it publicly because I said there's a lot of young black men who need to understand what conflict resolution looks like. The Nation of Islam, by the way, is extremely good at this. The Nation of Islam, Minister Farrakhan could have kept Biggie and Pac alive. If Minister Farrakhan had been able to talk to Biggie and Pac and get them in a room away from all the haters and all the naysayers and all the people that love to see drama, that's the problem. That's why you see celebrities or public figures fighting, is because they got people in their ear. But can you believe he said this about you? Oh no, he did. So what's your response, Tupac, to what Biggie just said? Wait, what he said? What did that? Or Biggie, what do you have to say in response to Tupac saying he slept with your wife? Right? Oh man, right? That's what people do. So what has to happen is you have to have those private conversations. You have to have a space, like if Biggie and Pac could have gotten a room by themselves with Minister Farrakhan mediating that conversation. Those two multi-billion-dollar entities, those two were multi-billion-dollar brands. If those two guys have been alive, think about this. Think about this. Look at the 90s and look at the artists who survived and the ones who did not. Tupac did not survive. Biggie did not survive. Eazy-E did not survive. Suge Knight pretty much didn't survive. He's still alive, but he's not relevant. Dr. Dre survived. He's a billionaire. Snoop Dogg survived. He's close to being a billionaire. Diddy survived. Diddy's a billionaire. Ice Cube survived. He's probably going to be a billionaire soon. And there's probably some people I just forgot about. So if Biggie had survived, Biggie and Pac were the biggest. Jay-Z survived. He's a billionaire. If Biggie and Pac had survived, they would both be billionaires too. And on top of being billionaires, they would have made a lot of other people millionaires because their brands were valuable corporate assets. And in fact, we talked about this when we were talking about Deion Sanders being hired by Colorado. I said Colorado got a steal when they hired Deion Sanders for $5.6 million because Deion Sanders is at least a $250 million brand. So you got a $250 million corporate acquisition, a $250 million asset for just $5.6 million. That's pretty good. The value, the economic value of the University of Colorado crappy brand went up. ESPN, Max Kellerman on ESPN was the only one who understood what I was saying. Shout out to Max Kellerman. I don't know why they fired him. I liked him. He was a smart white dude. Literally, the value of Colorado's corporate brand, or their value as an economic entity, shot up by at least $100 million or more. If you look at it in terms of financial valuations, remember, this is what I do. I do the math to value what an entity might be worth. You use multiples of free cash flow. The University of Colorado sold out their tickets for the first time in 20 years because they acquired a corporate brand by the name of Deion Sanders. They weren't selling them tickets last year. They couldn't give them tickets away to blind children last year. Did nobody want those damn tickets last year? Now they're selling tickets for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. The cheapest tickets I saw when I went online for the season opener were like over $900. Maybe there were some cheaper ones out there. I don't know, but I saw $900. So what I'm saying to you is that at the end of the day, let's circle back. I brought the Courtney Corey thing up as a little segue. I hope it's okay. Give me a guess if it's all right if I divert it from our original flight path a little bit. I'm trained to be a pilot. I'm gonna start using lots of pilot analogies. That's just what I do. Right. But as we go back to the regular scheduled program, what I want you to understand is that conflict resolution for Black people, especially Black men, is literally $1 trillion wealth move for the Black community. Like literally, our wealth as a community would go up by trillions of dollars instantaneously if we took conflict resolution as a serious skill that every Black man and every Black woman needs to acquire. So if you want to, and I did it out loud to show you this, because think about it like this. If I hate Corey and Corey hates me, and we both spend time trying to destroy each other, which did happen for a little while. He went in, he's funny. He's a brilliant comedian. So he threw the jokes. So all the people that like jokes, they thought it was hilarious. But then I have analytical ability. I can take something, I can chop it into little pieces and dissect it and help you see it for what it really is. So I was doing my thing. And here's the thing. We could have spent time doing that and harming each other, but instead now we're friends. Now we're allies. Right? So a lot of times you may think that you won if you fought somebody and you came out on top. A lot of times, if let's say I'm a 8 and you're a 12, so we fight and you destroy me, and you take my 8 to a 0, but I get some licks in, I take your 12 down to a 4. So now you're a 4 and I'm a 0, and you stand around saying, I won, look at me, I won. But you didn't really win, because war is costly. When you fight, when you have battles in your own family. I talk about this a lot in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. I actually break this down to help you understand this as an economic rule. When you go to war, even if you win, it's still a loss for you. You know, if you've ever seen a battle, even the team that wins ends up losing, having lots of people dead. They lose a lot of their equipment. They lose their ability to defend themselves. They are traumatized. Like, even winning a war is very, very traumatic. And so instead of and again, if we go to war and I'm an 8 and you're a 12, and then you beat me, but yet at the end of the war I'm a 0 and you're a 4, that's fine. That's one outcome, but you didn't really win. You just were the person who lost the least. But instead, what if I get together with my 8 and you get together with your 12, and we say, let's, instead of taking 12 minus 8 and using subtraction as the rule, where we end up as a 4, how about we take 8 plus 12? How about instead of doing subtraction, we do addition? So how about instead of me defeating you as my enemy, I somehow find a way to turn you into a friend? If I can turn you into my friend and you choose to be my friend, then guess what? We're more powerful together. And this is something I want you to remember, not just because of what happened with Corey and I. I mean, you can go watch the videos. I mean, there was videos out there and stuff. He's very funny. I laughed at the jokes. I thought they were pretty hilarious. Um, but I really didn't get a lot of pleasure fighting another black man like that. You know, that just does not suit the purpose of what we're trying to do here. And I know that that's how a lot of you think. And I encourage you to apply this to your own lives on whatever level that you want to apply it on. You know, maybe there's somebody in your family. Maybe you have to avoid them in order to stop fighting with them. If you can't become friends with them, at least avoid them. At least avoid the fight. And if you have to get together, and if there is that possibility that you can put your differences aside and rally around the things you have in common, then you might find that you're better off by having more allies than you are without allies. In fact, you will definitely find that out, because when you talk about this thing called wealth and all that, it's typically a team sport. Wealth is a team sport. When you work together as a group, you can get a whole lot more done than you can as an individual. So that's the Corey Holcomb story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm done talking about that. I ain't talking about that no more. All right. So anyway, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I want to let everybody know tonight for the Dr. Boyce Book Club, we're going to start on Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Black Labor, White. Sorry, not Black Labor. I'm sorry. The Black History Reader. Dr. Anderson, I talked to him the other day. He was very pleased to hear that we're going to start reading this book out loud. Stop worrying about whether or not white people are teaching history in public schools. I don't really, if you're white, no disrespect, but I don't even want you teaching my kids history, because y'all usually do it wrong. Just like you don't want us teaching your kids your history. You don't want us teaching, Jewish people don't want a black man like me teaching Jewish history to their kids. Because I'm going to say some stuff like, well, you know, there's a theory that we're actually the original Jews and that y'all just faking it, right? Like, seriously, like you wouldn't let somebody who's not from your community teach your history. So we shouldn't let someone who's not from our community teach our history. So we're going to read from Dr. Claude Anderson's book, The Black History Reader. And if you want to join the book club, just go to boycewatkins.com. There's a link there to join and participate. And it's free. You also get free access to my life class. So never let anybody tell you that you have to pay money to join the Black Business School. You can get started absolutely free, and we will give you more for free than most universities will give you for $100,000. Okay. And then at that point, if you want to support financially, we appreciate that too, because we're actually trying to build a physical campus. We're trying to do a lot of things, right? And the All Black National Convention, all these things cost money. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Freedom ain't free. You know, freedom is not free. So part of the reason that we have a business model is because we want to be independent. We want to be able to do what we got to do and get the job done without having to go beg for money and resources from people who don't like us very much. Okay, that's the dilemma that a lot of Black businesses get into. And then what happens is, when the conversations get really hard, when you start getting into serious discussions about reparations or the civil rights movement, what really happened, or Democrat versus Republican nonsense, first thing they do is they start taking that money back. That's why, for example, during the most election seasons, you can't trust your urban radio stations. They're bought and paid for. You can't even trust some of the national platforms. Like, I love Charlemagne at the Breakfast Club. I love what he tries to do. But the Breakfast Club is a corporate entity. And I would be curious to know how they deal with the fact that the Democrats spend a lot of money during election season, and they kind of expect to get a return on their investment. I don't see them giving a lot of money to platforms that are going to give Black people a broad range of choices. I see them supporting the hell out of platforms that are going to put Black people in a box and hand deliver you as a commodity to some, some political entity. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm just telling you I don't want you to be manipulated. You're not cattle. You're not, a bunch of sheep. You're not like KFC chickens that are being delivered for somebody else to feast on. You're supposed to be able to hold it down for your community, and that means being conscious, being intelligent. Okay, so this reparations discussion is going to be crazy. The Black History Reader, I think, will help us contextualize these discussions. In fact, let me give you an example of how good Dr. Anderson's book is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally open this up right now. If you could do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, share, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell because they shadow ban channels like ours. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be definitely alerted when we go live. And also, if you'd like to stay connected via text and receive stock alerts and profit alerts, things like that, just text the word stock to 31996. You can text stock to 31996. If you want to join the book club, just go to boycewatkins.com and you can join. And what I'll do is tonight on the stock list as well, I will text out the link so you can join us in the private Zoom. I'm going to have to start reading Dr. Anderson's books in private because I think reading his books got me banned on Instagram. All right, so here's what, let's see, I'm going to open up to a random page. So Dr. Anderson asked the question, he has questions about Black history, and then he answers the question. So he says, are Blacks too race conscious? This is question 37. He says, Blacks are not too race conscious. In reality, they are not race conscious enough, as demonstrated by their dogged pursuit of social integration over the past 50 years, while the rest of America was balkanizing along ethnic and racial lines. Today, an increasing number of Black Americans are imploring Blacks to rebuild Black communities and spend their money with Black merchants. Clearly, the mere fact that Black Americans have to be encouraged to do that, to do what whites and other ethnic groups do instinctually, indicates that Blacks are not race conscious enough to have a self-interest that puts their own people first. Unlike whites who identify and unite around their whiteness, Blacks lack a sense of oneness and solidarity that is needed for group-based socioeconomic empowerment. Blacks have had short spurts of race consciousness in which they tried to come together to pool their resources in their own best self-interest, but those periods did not last long, and Blacks rarely played as team long enough to prosper. Just as it is in present-day society, slaves were conditioned to believe that by advancing the interests of the master in the white society, they were advancing the interests of slaves collectively or themselves as individuals. So he connects it to slavery. He said, because he says, without protection of the law, many Blacks tried to protect themselves during slavery by professing love for their masters and all forms of whiteness. So effectively what Dr. Anderson says, and there's more to it. The book is called The Black History Reader. His website is powernomics.com. And so one of the things that he explains that will help you understand where you are and why the world is what it is he connects your behavior today to your experience during slavery. He says, the reason you do this now is because during slavery, you did that. So what he's saying on this page, and this is just a random page I opened up in the book, he's basically saying that you are the ultimate white supremacist. When you talk about white supremacy, first place you got to look is not at the white guy. You got to look in the mirror. It's that commitment to white supremacy that causes us to sort of put the preferences and the beliefs and the value systems of the dominant society ahead of our own. It's white supremacy that makes you even, for example, want to send your child to your oppressor to educate them when you could easily do a better job on your own. And then as a result, they send your kids back dumber than they were when they went to school that day. And we do nothing about it. We don't even think we're empowered enough to actually confront a system like that. So I want to give you that power. I want to support you in that journey. I want to help you avoid this brainwashing. So the book is called The Black History Reader. Dr. Claude Anderson wrote it. His website is powernomics.com. Anybody who appreciates what Dr. Anderson does, I hope you'll go to powernomics.com and just make it rain on his website. You can get all the educational products your family will ever need from that website. I want you to buy his book before you buy mine. If you buy my book, it's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, by the way. And I have several books out there, and I lay them out so you guys can see what they are. Black American Money, The New Black Power. There's plenty of books I have out there. Feel free to grab them if you want to. But before you take a look at anything that I've written, I need you to read what this man wrote, because Before him, there was no me, and my job is to only continue the legacy that a great man like him helped to start. And he's not the only one, though. There are others out there, Professor James Small and many others who contributed to our community. I'm gonna go and grab some of those books too, but I want to get through Dr. Anderson's books first, so we can get started on this economic plan, so that we can end up winning this battle. Okay. All right. So anyway, guys, I'm about to get out of here. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. Also, if you live in Chicago or nearby, Akilani Honda, who is a B1 hip hop artist that we are supporting as a community. She's working with the Boyd family, who they're signed with Rock Nation, and she is one of the dopest artists on the planet. And if you like to check her out, you can go to akilasworld.com. She's actually performing in Chicago June 30th, and going to some other cities. She's doing a multi-city tour. So I hope you'll go and check out her platform. Akila's one of the good ones, and I think that we have to, if we're going to talk about, what's going on with the Cardi B's and the Lizzos and the Megan Thee Stallions and all this negative imagery of Black women. We got to support those Black women that are presenting the imagery that we can be proud of. So Akila, just go check her out. Just go to her website. It's akilasworld.com, and just show us some love, some support, whatever it is you feel comfortable doing. And if you can show up at a concert, that's even better, because I'd love for her to be able to go to a sold out crowd and be able to be Black and proud. All right, guys. So please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My website is boycewatkins.com. Feel free to take a look at the website if there's any way we can help you. And we're out of here. So have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Peace.